Yo, it's Aaron. It's our nest. Flag on the culture. We back, baby. What's going on? Missed y'all. Ready to get it in for another episode. Aaron, how you doing tonight, though?
Man, flag on the culture, man. I'm good. Everything is always going good for us, man. We always want to give our thanks, man, to our new subscribers. We want to give our thanks to God, man. And we also want to, man, just appreciate everybody who's been following us along the way, man. We appreciate y'all because without y'all, we have no views. So, man, we appreciate y'all, subscribing to us, new people. Well, man, we got a lot of great topics coming up, bro. We got some hot topics. We got some, a bunch of things that we want to talk about. What angle you want to come from today, bro? Where are we throwing flags at, man?
Man, let's go straight into this topic, bro. What is your thoughts on Matt drills? Because it's that time of the season, right? Football season just ended. Everybody is coming in. Those who's already on campus, right, are going through workouts. Everybody do Matt drills different, right? Some do it outside, some do it inside based off where they're located at. But what are your thoughts? Because we both went through mat drills. This is something you do when you get to the college level. So, what are your thoughts during this time of mat drills?
Man, I think it's uh I think it's a way of seeing where your early competition is, where your team is. I definitely see it from a perspective of how you guys compete, which guys are willing to compete, and you also get a chance to evaluate. I believe your freshmen. You get to evaluate those incoming guys too with the mat drills from what they've been doing since you last talked to them as a head coach. You know what I'm saying? I had a few situations. I mean, I had a situation where I felt like mat drills was a joke because of school I went to. And I just felt like we was just doing a bunch of stations just to get us tired. So my experience of how I would have did it is totally different from how I did it. Once I had an understanding of the purpose of mat drills and the purpose of you actually building that team camaraderie and you having that understanding that uh man, this is pretty much where your season start at. If y'all falling apart right here and you can't if y'all falling apart right here, this just lets you know where you could pick the pieces of the puzzle up. You know what I'm saying? Going down the road. So that's how I felt about mat drills. You get to see a lot of the guys as drinking, doing a lot of stuff on the weekends and stuff like that. A lot of the guys that's just throwing up every single mat drill. So you get to see a lot of stuff, man. So that's just my personal experience. But I know we all got different experiences. What you think about mat drills, bro?
Bro, that's a good perspective you just gave, but because I never thought of mat drills like that, like as far as bringing everybody together. I think mat drills is a waste of time. I point blank period. The thing is pointless because it can be for better use. We talk about development. Why don't you develop the kids? That's what they really need. That's what's going to help them get on the field. You pushing them and seeing if they can make it. Dudes don't need to be in a shape right now. For what? They just got done playing 12, depending on how far they went, 12 game to a 14 game season, right? Mat drills are stupid. And then when I was in college, people was getting hurt. Starters that we was depending on tearing their ACLs and doing stuff like that. I think honestly it's a waste of time, and they need to find something more productive to do. But I don't know if it's the restrictions that the coaches are not able to actually work on development with their players. But yeah, there's a lot of rah rah and this and that. Man, football at the end of the day is
But with that, they do got them certain amount of hours that the coaches could spend with the players.
I,
So you do gotta. It does go into another point of saying it is a waste of time because this time might not be allocated to the coaches to spend with the players now because we spending time with the strength coach and his assistants and some interns.
But those coaches, my coaches at least when I was at Mount Drill, they was there. Like not all of them, but most of them was there doing drills. And like you said, it's just drills. It's bro, it we got to move on with this. I have never ever heard any team that's won the championship like we won in the mat drills. It started in mat drills. stop it, bro. The mat drill's not winning you nothing. We gonna discuss this whole because Coach Cernetti talked about it, how they schedule like who started with the periods. Like we gonna get into that another time. But yeah, I think it's a waste of time, honestly. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I from the school I went to, bro, I think our time could have been used differently, bro. For me, I think I was just like too programmed to have an understanding that it was a waste of time, if that makes sense. Like, you know how we in the system and you don't want to go against the system and you're like, oh, this work. We getting that work.
Yeah, and
So
coming from JUCO, right? Because we didn't have no mat drills, right? And coming from JUCO, oh, this is what you do at D1. Yeah, I can see why we suck in D1. Y'all doing dumb stuff, unnecessary stuff. But man,
yeah.
that's either here nor there, bro. Let's get in this topic, bro. Where did student athlete come from? I actually got a video. I think it gives great insight. So I'm about to share this video. I think it's an awesome thing. Let me share this.
It's college athlete. It's not student-athlete. Walter Byers was the president of the NCAA from 1951 to 1987. He created amateurism. He coined the phrase student-athlete to make sure that a school was not liable for the death of their player, Ray Dennison, when his family wanted workers' comp. That's the history of that term, and that's why I don't use that term. It's college athlete. It's not student-athlete, because ultimately this is something that was created out of thin air by him and the NCAA, and it worked for a while because the revenues and the salaries of the coaches weren't egregious. They were enough to pay for all the other sports. Now, during this period of 51 to 87, while maybe the scholarship was still fair for the players and the revenue hadn't been commercialized, it was still a very socialistic system. Football creates all the money, and we're going to use it to pay for all the other sports. Byers did an interview with Sports Illustrated and started to condemn amateurism and started to question what they had done. While he's still the sitting president of the NCAA, he writes on sportsmanlike conduct, which is a book that's several hundred pages long. It's very good, and it condemns everything he built. He looked back at what he had built and what he had said and what he had done and questioned it. Is this really structured right? Is this right morally? Is this right from a legal standpoint? There was at least a questioning of it.
So, bro, what is your thoughts on that video right there of the student slash athlete, bro? That video breaking that down.
Well, see, that's a great point right there because I never really it was shoved down my throat that it was shoved in. It was sorry about that, bro. Pause. It was shoved in my like it was bro, it was like given to me as that's the grades first, then your talent. That's how it was given to me. So he just broadened my perspective just now, just for giving me that information right there. Because I'm like, man, as far as I know, you had to have the grades to play. So that's where I took the student athlete saying from. So for me, I wasn't as competent on that. I wasn't as knowledgeable on that as far as his perspective, as we all have our own opinions. But I just stopped at good grades, talent. That's a student athlete. So that was the biggest for me. And he broadened like I said, he broadened my perspective with his perspective. So what do you think, man? Like how you coming at that? How did you look at it?
I mean, I felt this way in when I was in college when we had to do sign autographs for our fans and we didn't get paid nothing. I felt it then. And I was like, bro, this is a business. And I said, I cannot profit nothing from this, but I'm required because if I didn't show up, then I'll get in trouble. I was like, this is so dumb. Like I was literally hot when we had to sign autographs. Um, because I'm like, bro, you taking advantage of me. And because I didn't want to get there, I didn't want to be there because we had to get up early for these autograph signings. And then we had to stay after practice. I'm like, bro, this is stupid. And this is why I tell kids when coaches talk about, man, you're a student athlete first. No, you need to understand that. The reason why they say student athlete because they cannot get you into the school. That's the only reason why. And you know why they also telling that? Because that's the way they get paid. That's the only how they can get you into school for you to play. And then that's the way they get paid is by you getting you funding because you actually make money for them when you attend a school, right? Some way, somehow, right,
Mm-hmm.
pay or if you get a scholarship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are funding their income. That's the only reason why they telling you you're a student athlete. So don't let nobody, no coach, no program tell you you a student athlete. This is a business. I said it our first episode. It's two people who get taken advantage of for the most part. Young people and older people. Because you just don't know when you're young and when you're older, you forget. This is what happens. And this is why this gentleman right here, he said the whole reason why so they would not be liable for somebody passing away. Because I always said this. I had a teammate. He was a walk-on, was a starter though. For 3 years, he was a starter. Our senior year, it was me and three other people hit him in spring practice. He ruptured his spleen and had to get surgery. He had to get cut from his chest all the way down to his groin. He played sparingly for the season, but he really didn't play. Up until that time, he was a walk-on. They put him on scholarship, which was a blessing, which is also he should have been on scholarship, but they put him on scholarship just so he wouldn't have to pay for the surgery. And I didn't know the ramifications of it until I saw him after we graduated and we was talking. He was like, it was a blessing, yes, to be on scholarship. So I wouldn't, but he was like, I should have been on scholarship a long time ago. I was a starter for 3 years. And it's very unfortunate when guys get hurt, when guys get injured, where they not able to no longer play football, where they're, might be. We see people go paralyzed. We just saw a kid. There's a story. Someone in Illinois just passed away. What are they gonna do for their parents? Yes, the parents is sad, and yes, you don't know what's gonna happen, but you don't think your child is gonna die working out. We're not talking about a football game. We're talking about working out during mat drills. Something, once again, is a waste of time. So I keep
Oh man, I had
reiterating,
that experience. The
I
kid
keep
died on us
reiterating, bro.
after mat group.
I keep saying it, bro. Do not let no coach, don't let no parent tell you a student athlete. This is a business. You are a business. Act accordingly, man, and do business as business is.
Man, that's crazy you say that, bro, because this falls right into our next topic, bro. And I don't want to be too I'll just say it straight up, man. Like BYU trying to protect their assets in a big way, man. Giving us an example that it's a business. You know what I'm saying? Giving us an example, going in and talk about the Parker Kingston situation, bro, where BYU is claiming that they never knew about the allegations that were against the star wide receiver there. So, like, what do you think about that, bro? Do you honestly think nobody knew? Nobody knows. Nobody knew. Nobody had no idea. But then it comes out that the campus security or the campus police or something was aware of it or something like that, man. What's your thoughts on diving on this, bro? Because we are at a point in time where, like we were just saying, you are a business. So what we just spoke about ties into this young man here. So what's your thoughts on that, bro? My heart goes out to both of them, the victim and Mr. Kingston himself. You know what I'm saying? We just but being an athlete, I've been in plenty of situations. Not being an athlete, I've been in situations. I've placed myself in situations before. So I have a very, very I don't have all the experience, but I have a little bit of experience with what he's dealing with. And I'm not I don't want to say on here what side I'm taking, but I just want to hear from you what how do you feel about this, bro? Like the university, holding keeping their name clean and just stepping away from a young man.
Well, they have a reputation that they're trying to uphold. And for those who don't know, BYU, right, they have a policy. You cannot have consensual sex up on campus with opposite sex, right? This has happened with a player from BYU prior in basketball where he was kicked off the team. And honestly, this is something that happened to their starting quarterback that they had the year prior. This is why he's at
They just had it. Yep.
yep.
Tulane.
Now he's at Tulane, right? So this is not something new, but what BYU is doing as far as they're trying to protect their reputation and their brand, I think they missed. I think they missed because the evidence, and they're still going through court, right? And they're gonna have to pay for it because most likely, based off the information that's out right now, this young man is gonna be proven not guilty, and everything that was said against him, for the most part, was a lie, and it's gonna be repercussions on BYU's hands. So it's very unfortunate. And I was thinking about this, like, hey man, it's something that these women they should have to, they should be some
They
consequences.
should have something to suffer from. It should be some type of repercussions for this.
But I thought about it, bro. This is even in the Bible, bro. Joseph had to go through this, where Potiphar's wife allegedly said he tried to sleep with her and it wasn't true. Man, God working it out at the end of the day. And this is a situation where it's very unfortunate this young man, right? He was thrown to the curbside, even might be jail time. I'm not sure if he ever did get
Man,
arrested.
he get a day in jail, but to somebody who ain't never been, that is a year. And that's
But it's not even just the jail part. Now they're gonna be questioning at the next level. And if he goes to the NFL or if he's a prospect, right? They won't be questioning him about this. There's a football player from San Diego State, was a punter, who actually got drafted by the Buffalo Bills. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, allegedly, right? Supposedly it was not consensual. She said it was right. The Buffalo Bills knew about it, right? Because new evidence came out, the Buffalo Bills released him. He was out of the league for like 2 years. Then it was confirmed that it was not true. He's back in the league now. But he went after the Buffalo Bills for releasing him off information that was not true. So I think this is a repeated thing. Teams are, and I believe this all started with Ray Rice. For those who do not know about Ray Rice's situation, right? It's very unfortunate. I'm not gonna really go into the details about it, but it all started with that, and his career kind of ended because of information getting out. And I think people are trying to protect their brand more so than doing the research and doing what needs to be done. So I think it's gonna hurt, and this kind of ties into Mel Tucker's situation. But anything else you want to add onto this case with Kingston from BYU, bro?
oh man, I'm here in town with them. Where the court is located, care who know about it, anything like that, bro. It's sad to me how it's sad to me how people who say they are for you end up treating you like fans, bro. That is the biggest, like, that's the worst thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And then ultimately, like, I hate to even get into this part, but how does that make your religion look? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think God would do people like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't just throw somebody to the side and just move on to the next person. I think he's a person of chances, you know what I'm saying? And he gives people those type of understanding. So if you have that backing of God and that's what you're claiming or that's what you're putting out there, I feel that young man deserves another chance. And I feel like the university should have stuck close with him. And I'm not saying not expel the kid. I'm not saying not go into disciplinary actions. But us as athletes, we do have something called Title IX. And there is something under there, stipulations under there where he's 3-4 hours away anyway. So I don't even think there even needed to be stipulations as far as meeting, seeing on the day-to-day basis. There should have been something like a non-text clause. Don't text this person and good. Put the dude on house arrest, $100,000 bond, $10,000 to get out. Offer this to be like, look at everything he has to deal with all for somebody just to say, it was somebody to go 4 days later and said, come on, man. Like, so for me, like I said, I hate to sound like I'm picking a side, but man, it's just sad how people do people when they say they got you. Like, man, I think I seen an article when he came out and said I was their golden child when I was scoring touchdowns for them. Now all of a sudden I am. They trying to write me off. They trying to
legacy.
Yeah, y'all trying to erase my name and things that I've done here. So I think that's a big thing, bro. But this also ties into now the athletes getting paid and having leverage, what we always bring up, because that was a clause within his NIL contract with the agency that he was with, that if anything like that was to happen, because it does happen to athletes. So the agency was smart enough to put that clause within his contract, I believe. So when they did that, I think that's something that the university should start looking over. Like, if you sign a contract, you know you have to abide by that contract. So I just think that's something they look over. I think even if he is their golden boy, that's the one who y'all should be looking over the rules, because the golden boy is the one that everybody is going to be after. You know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy how it came after he proposed to the lady he's been with. It's crazy how everything like came out in publicly, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Me being here, I didn't even hear about when it happened.
This happened in
Truth be
season.
told.
This happened. This case is not nothing new. This started in season. This whole thing, and for some odd reason, I don't know why it was expedited to this point, because new information was not figured out. So once again, it's premature. Not only on BYU but on other universities who try to protect their brand, and they're gonna pay a hefty fine for it, man. They definitely gonna do that.
But to me, it's like, I don't want to know the victim name, but why can't the victim be named? If you're coming out saying all this information and you're saying this, that, and the other, and it doesn't look like anything has changed, and we all being real here. You're driving 4 hours for somebody to tell you no? That's in business, relationships, friendships. If somebody says, no, you're not driving 4 hours, that's how far BYU is away from Southern Utah. So it had to be a lot more than what we really like, than what they putting out. And for me, why does the media want to make that man look like that and that woman look like this? That's my question. You get what I'm saying? Like, because he has a bigger name, is that what it is? Like, why does that? Why? Like, why? We can't get a news outing that comes out and says lady lied on Utah BYU's golden boy. So she. That ain't, man, that's like, so it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. And like you said, it does go into the Mel Tucker thing. I think you said you got a video on that.
Yeah, man, I want to share this video, dude. Break it down. I appreciate the gentleman for sharing this. Let me share my screen because it's on the
State head coach Mel Tucker get vindicated recently. Now, if you don't know who Mel Tucker is, just this him. He was a football coach at Colorado, Michigan State, very successful. Then he signed a 10-year, $95 million contract. And then he got caught up, right? Got accused of SAing a woman, but not just any woman. This woman right here, her name is Brenda Tracy. Now, if you don't know who Brenda Tracy is, it doesn't surprise me. Brenda Tracy is a sexual assault advocate. She goes around all across the country, sometimes I think even believe all around the world, advocating specifically to football teams about what you do and what not to do with women as far as sexual assault, not making them feel comfortable, et cetera, et cetera. Because Brenda Tracy was assaulted when she was in college. And so her plight is to, teach football players and teach teams and teach young men to, be careful when they're working with women. Well, that's where Mel Tucker comes into play, because Mel Tucker, as you see, brought Brenda Tracy to Michigan State when he was the head coach to speak to his team, to speak to his players. And then after that, Mel Tucker claims that him and Brenda developed some sort of relationship where he wanted to hook up with Brenda. Now, let me remind you, Mel Tucker is married, right? Like, he's a married man. But Brenda said that's not what it went down. Brenda said Mel Tucker harassed her, sexually assaulted her, and reported it to the media and reported it to Michigan State. And that cost Mel Tucker his job. It also cost him $80 million, roughly, because that was what was left on his contract. But in the last few days, the courts have dismissed Brenda Tracy's lawsuit against Mel Tucker, saying the courts couldn't find evidence that he ever sexually assaulted her. I forgot to mention that. Oh, she also sued Mel Tucker. And that he never sexually assaulted her. Now, a few years ago, Mel Tucker's lawyers released a slew of text messages that essentially from Brenda Tracy, and not just the ones to Mel Tucker, but also to text messages to one of her friends that essentially said she wanted Mel Tucker to finance a documentary for her, and that she thought his text messages were kind of doing too much, and so she wants him to finance a documentary for her. When he decided he didn't want to finance that documentary, that's when she texted her friend, well, I guess the only way to make him pay is with his money. And so that is when she wanted him to pay her some money. She reported it to MSU, and then all of this kind of ensued. And so, yes, Mel Tucker to a certain extent has been vindicated, but he is currently in a lawsuit with Michigan State to get that $80 million because Michigan State fired him with cause. Their investigation said, yeah, he did sexually assault her, and we're going to fire you with cause, and we're going to keep your $80 million. And so Mel Tucker is currently in court fighting Michigan State for his $80 million. Will he ever get that? I don't know. Kudos to Mel Tucker for getting vindicated, but this just goes to show you, man, it's never worth it. It is never worth it. You are a married man. It's best to keep it in your pants.
So, man, as you can see, it's a similar situation as far as what is being reported, and these institutions are prematurely just making decisions, right, on their decisions, man. And I'm not gonna say what these people are doing, if it's right or wrong, right? That's not for me to judge at the end of the day. But I think that these programs have to do a better job of doing their due diligence, right? So they don't have to fall into possibly getting sued by these people who they fire or these players. What is your thoughts on that, man?
That is pathetic. That is pathetic. That's piss poor pathetic. For you to be an advocate and then for you to lose a court, for you to be an advocate, you to say somebody did that to you, then you lose in court. Where's she at working? Where is she working at? I guarantee you she's still employed, bro. I guarantee you she's still employed. This is showing that she has an intention. This is literally showing she would do this to anybody. She'll do this to anybody. It just so happened to fall on somebody that was our color, but I think she'll do that to anybody. Like I don't think color has anything to do with that. I think she will do that to anybody. I think when evil is within, it's within. It is a left or right, and I am here to judge. I know God gonna judge me the same way, but my goodness, my goodness, come on now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you supposed to be helping people that go through similar things that you faced in life, and you're turning this around and
trying to use her leverage?
That's leverage. That's leverage next, or is that a flag? That's leverage.
No. It definitely leverage. She thought it was gonna do something though.
Okay, so what leverage we talking about? We talking about color leverage, or we talking about her?
She had some dirt leverage, and she thought
she thought she had enough. She thought she had a big enough pile.
She tried to use the leverage the wrong way.
Ooh-wee. So listen, this is my thing, bro. With that 80 million going after the school that you already was gonna get, can't you go after her and all what she has or doesn't have for defamation?
He definitely can. He definitely can.
That's a defamation because that's isn't it?
Yep, he definitely can. And I do want to say this. For those people who are going through these, talking about women, right? And of course, this happened with men as well. But to these women, we got to do a better job, young men, right? With how we're treating these ladies. And women, we also got to do a better job of not putting ourselves in these positions. It's for the men to protect. I do know some grimy teammates, some grimy guys out here, but we have to do a better job, young ladies, too, not putting ourselves in situations. But men, it's on us, though, right, to be leaders and do the right thing as well. So I will say that.
Who was the grimiest you've been around, bro? Who's the grimiest? Who you throwing a flag on? Who the grimiest?
Man, I'm not saying no names.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
Can't do that, man. Can't do that. That's can't do that, man. But yeah. But going into this next topic, bro, let's get into this IMG Academy, bro. Allegedly, right? I don't know how this was found out, but IMG, the Florida, their campus is amazing. I've been there twice. I actually had to work out there at CFL. Right, it's an academy. They are hit with a $1.7 million fine for accepting tuition linked to Mexican drug cartel. It says for over 5 years, allegedly, IMG repeatedly transacted with 2 individuals connected to the cartel. What is your thoughts on this, bro, this information?
You need money, and it gotta come from somewhere. And some people aren't the best people. So even if you work for the cartel, we still need the money.
We still gotta pay these bills, man.
Even if you in the cartel, we need the money. We gotta take care of ourselves and everything else. But bro, this throws me off, bro. This really throws me off because, bro, it's a lot going on with the cartel right now, man. It's really a lot going on with the cartel right now. I think a leader was just captured and assassinated, or unalived. They call it assassinated because how big his name was, but he's unalive. Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how the cartel got their hands in everything, bro. That's one thing that I'm really realizing, bro. As I get older, like the cartel has a person in every business. I think I literally think they have a plant in every. I think they got a plant somewhere in every part of the world. I think that. So it's it's illegal, but I had a few examples that made money illegally, and it got us by. So I guess until you get caught, I guess it's good until you get caught. So they didn't got caught up. It looks bad on them because it's a school, and especially where the funds are coming from, it don't make them look no better. So it's different if it's some money, man. You can kind of, work between the system right there. But when you got the cartel, now we got some investigating we got to do because it's transactional. You had to do something for this to get done. Who's all behind this? Is the school at stake? Are the kids at stake? Is there even going to be an IMG in the next 4 years if, however, this information got out, that it got out? And you get what I'm saying? So I just think I think a cartel is like every drop of the world. I think they in every part of somewhere in the world, bro. That's just all I don't know what to think because I ain't never been close to them like that. I never had a friend, family member, nothing like that. And if I did, I wouldn't say it. But man, I don't know, man. What you think about that, man?
I mean, I want to know like how much background does a school need to like figure out? Now, if you doing business with them, that's different. But like if a parent, if they are a member of a cartel, how would you know that? Like, hey, well, you got to do your paperwork and, pay the tuition. Now, if you knowingly do that, all money ain't good money. So, shame on IMG if they knew this information prior. But it's like, how would you find out if a person worked for a cartel or not? So, I think.
How much of this do you think is clickbait?
Who?
Do you actually think this is real news, or you think this is fake news? Or do you think this is somebody whose son maybe couldn't get in there, or somebody who used to be a part of the cartel maybe 40 years back and now is investing into into the program and somebody don't like that, or a bad business move, and now you give me like how do we know this is true, bro?
This is why I say allegedly to a lot of stuff, because I don't believe what I read allegedly all the time, because you never know what's true. So for this information to get out, right? Somebody probably got mad or something like that. Who knows? Or somebody kid probably told this information. Who knows? But at the end of the day, all money ain't good money, as you can see. It could be more detrimental. And then they not about to shut down their school, because if that was the case, they would have shut them down already. That's not the case. They got a $1.7 million fine, which to them probably nothing.
That's pocket change.
How much money they make. So it's a slap on the wrist. And probably more than anything, is trying to deter other schools from doing it that don't make as much money as IMG. But yeah, man, we will monitor this situation. It's very unfortunate. Hopefully, there is not anything up on campus that is involving kids. I did see a video where a student, and who know how true it is, allegedly he said he was moving drugs for the cartel. I didn't even watch the whole video, but all this foolishness could come out, and people just want to be clickbait and get views.
Paid for propaganda.
Yeah, so,
we paid you to say this.
Yeah, so who like we said, who knows what's real and not, man. But I do want to go on this topic, because we talk about finances and we talk about the money in college and the business of it. And I think this is very important to show. So Alabama, and there's other people, right? They shared the fiscal breakdown for athletics. SC shared theirs. There's a couple. Now, people always
32,696,114.
That's a surplus. People always complain about why football players and basketball players make the most money. So just off football and basketball, you can see that the revenue for football is 147 million. 147 million. Just off football. For basketball, 24 million. As you can see, the expenses is 82 million. 859,480. So they netted 64 million just for football, and they netted 9 million for basketball. Just
everybody else is in the negative.
Everybody else, all the other sports, which once again the college football and basketball pay for them, and they still have a surplus. Surplus means that's additional money that you still have left over. That's not even accounted for. They still have a surplus of $32 million profit just from football and basketball. So people need to understand this, right? And this is not the same, because SC was actually in a negative overall for their sports. But people need to understand this is why your football players and basketball players make up most of the pot for NIL, and then the other sports, right? They fall into they fall in line where they fall in. What are your thoughts on that graphic right there from Alabama, from their fiscal breakdowns?
Man, that is crazy. That is crazy. I think it'll change now for women's basketball. I think it'll change for women's basketball. So I want to see it for 2026, 2027, and see. I don't think women's basketball will be in so much debt because of everything that's perspiring through the sport. But everything, like, dang, other sports, bro, like that's kind of like what moves us on to talk about Sac State moving to the MAC. So I kind of like, bro, for me, that's one thing that I always noticed. Like, that's one question that I always ask, like, how are they buses and stuff paid for? Like, how they getting to all these places and we taking a bus? How they getting to these places and we taking a bus? And we taken care of, meaning like we're taking care of ourselves. You feel me? But how is, like, I looked at the other ones, tennis, soccer, like, I've always wondered that, bro, because it's about 7 or 8 people at a soccer game, bro, at a college soccer game sometimes.
And it'd be a championship game, 7 people. Real talk.
You said championship game. It could be playoffs, bro. It could be a rivalry. and you might get 14.
Real talk.
You feel me? So that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. I never I've always been told that football is a poor man's game, but I beg to differ. Because boy, oh boy, it costs a lot to it costs a lot to play, and then you can also get paid a lot.
Because it seats the most people. That's why they got the biggest stadiums on campus. But only that, you used the question like, how are these players getting paid this money? Well, Alabama made 147 million. And if you put that in perspective to let's say a player is getting 1 million, is that a lot of money?
No.
No. So the players should be making more. And when they keep trying to tell y'all like, oh, this kid is making $2 million, he should be grateful. What should he be grateful off of? If I am helping this team, this program make 147 million, I'm way more than 2 million. I'm way more than that. It's in correlation to the value you bring to that program. If your company is worth $10 billion and you bring in the work, most of the work, and you get paid 50,000, you're gonna be upset too. Especially for what you do. You're gonna be like, I want to be compensated for what I do for this business. If it's worth $10 billion. This is where athletes need to understand. You don't need to be grateful. You need to do business. I see the value of what you guys do because I brought in this amount. I should be paid accordingly. This is how business is done. It don't matter if you're young, old, middle class, whatever it is. This is how business works. And when you have the leverage, that's when you can, hey, I need more money. And if it's not, then move on, as it should. As it should.
Making them all that money just to say, oh, we got it, don't even trip. So it's coaches getting hired that's like, you know what, my goal is to stay in debt so football could.
Exactly.
So we can get these new coaches.
So, man, next topic, and then we'll let it go after this. We'll be done. Let's talk about Sac State going into the MAC conference. So Sac State, they were an FCS school, and they just made the move to enter the MAC. So their football program is just an FBS. All the other programs are still FCS, right? So what did it cost for them to actually get in? So here's the numbers. They owe the MAC $18 million to join, and they also have to pay $5 million to the NCAA. They also get zero conference payout for years. It's not determined how many years, and they even have to cover their travel costs for visiting teams just for them to compete. It says the total cost tops above $25 million just to compete by playing at a bigger program. Now, prior to me letting you answer, this is what I was told, right? Because I have someone who was actually entering in, and they actually had a conversation with the coach, and they said yes, they did pay a big amount, but when it came to donations, I believe somebody offered they paid $60 million prior to them doing this deal with the MAC. So they had a $60 million surplus, right? On top of they are one of the most, as far as FCS, prior to them moving up, they were the most as far as had the most money. So with that saying, a lot of people are bashing Sac State for this move, but if you are saying, let's just use regular dollars, right? It cost me $100, right, to get into this conference, and I have $300 on top of what I'm going to make down the road. So I spend $100 to get in, but down the road, this is going to make me $600, $1,000. Is that a bad move? I wouldn't say so if that's the case. But what is your thoughts, man, on this move from Sac State?
Strategic, long term. We're about to show y'all we can compete with the best, and we can raise just as much money as them guys without having as many students on our campus. So we'll show y'all how we do it. We'll show you how we do it. And shout out to that last coaching staff that was over there, man, that changed up the whole perspective, whole mindset, just the whole program and curriculum over there, man. They changed up everything. As you start seeing Jaden Rashad, a five-star recruit coming out of high school, is leaving Georgia to go to Sacramento State. Come on, man, there's got to be some money over there. So just seeing stuff like that, guys got to understand that just because the media is putting it out there that it looks bad, trust me, man, the university always is going to cover their assets before they get in a situation. And that's one thing that I've learned from you, you know what I'm saying? And learn from you amongst our conversations and growth building that we've been having. So, yeah, bro, I think that's a great move. I really think that's actually an incredible move, bro, because you're not losing if you lose. You're not losing if you lose, and if you win, you're gonna win. Now that 60 mil from that donor, ain't no telling what else the donor, what else he got. The 60 mil could have been pocket change, a write-off just to get in this position. Let me see what y'all could do. Now they in this position, he like, look, I got 100 mil, I got 112, I got 150 mil for us to go to play against Bama next year. We just want our kids to compete with the best guys. Yep. All right, bro. Now you didn't kind of shook it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I love that move for Sac State, man. I think it's a great move. I think it's a very strategic and long-term move, and I think it's honestly something they're going to be able to sustain.
Yep. On top of, man, when that TV deal kick in for them, that's going to be more money. And honestly, they in the MAC, they possibly can win it in these first 2 years if they really like how they are. So
they're winning the first year, bro. And this ain't even really their first year. They're winning it, bro. They was supposed to win it. Come on, bro. They're winning it, bro. They got some things going on over there, bro. My boy over there, shout out to CJ Pollard, man, the #1 recruiter last year, man, getting over there, locking in, getting guys from everywhere, man, getting some of the best guys out there, man. So I got a guy over there, and I don't mean to play the bias card, but like I said, they doing their thing over there, man. They make it move. So you gotta give credit where credit is due, man. So shout out to Brennan Marion, man, getting the staff over there, getting the guys on, man, and throwing them a lob. So now everybody at Sac State is dunking.
Yep.
And they dunking off of his lob. You know what I'm saying? He came in, did his job. He made the foundation, set up the foundation. Now he over with Coach Prime. He took I ain't gonna say a pay cut because I don't know the financial numbers and stuff like that. He took a position cut to go over there and coach with Coach Prime. So that lets you know that even still at the level that he's at and doing the things that he's doing, he's still willing to learn, man. So guys who have learned from him, understand throughout that process, man, you still can learn and you could be a sponge all the way along the way. So shout out to Sac State, man. I'm thinking they're gonna go win it straight out, bro. They're winning it.
The only thing, they won't be eligible to play in a bowl game the first 2 years, but they might be able to change it only to 1 year, depending on how much money they're willing to spend. But yeah,
exactly.
But yeah,
bro, it ain't no telling with these donors.
Oh, facts. Hey, money rule it all, as you can see with IMG taking that money from the cartel. But yeah, man, that's a wrap, bro, for the night, bro. Aaron, is there anything else that you want to possibly talk about or anything?
No, God bless to our fans, man. Flag on the culture. God bless to our subscribers, man. Tap in with us, man. Show us on the comments, man, what y'all want us to talk about, what y'all want to hear, man. Keep staying blessed, man. Keep staying blessed. Our next, man, we got another segment coming for them next week with some hot topics as well, man. God bless everybody and thank God for allowing us to have this platform.
Yes, sir, man. Keep doing the good work, bro. Y'all have a good one.
All right, my boy.
All right.